That's all I'm saying.
Hello, everybody.
And happy holidays.
Yes. Oh, it's getting so close, Santa.
There it is.
I can't help it.
There it is.
When it's like, it's this jolly, you just have to keep plugging
it. It is. And I'm telling you, we literally have just, anyway. Hello, everybody.
What do we literally have, Dean?
It's Monday Night Live with Dean and Kate.
Hello.
And we're excited to be back. The beard is going to be trimmed in less than 2 weeks.
I was going to say, not for 2 whole weeks.
2 whole weeks. I am dding my best. I am telling you, I'm enduring the fluffiness and the jokes, the constant Santa jokes. Yeah, well.
If you're Santa, then I get to be Buddy the Elf.
Buddy the Elf.
Okay.
And you like syrup. Syrup.
I love sugar.
I love sugar. And I love hugs.
Oh.
Well, we're excited. So yes, we're Monday Night Live.
Yes.
And according to Kate's survey, she won. So we
Dean
have to
didn't even get any votes. You didn't get any votes. My family came in hard for me, though. They were like knocking it out of the park.
Not even right. That's not even okay.
So Monday Night Live is here to stay.
Stays.
I'm so happy about.
Yes, I'm excited. It's Monday Night Live, and excited to see we got people popping in already. We got Haley, Mandy, and TJ, and Lisa. Everybody tuning in. So excited. Got Facebook going, Instagram, and excited to get going tonight. Yep. So tonight we wanted to talk about
a really cool topic. I was about to start it and you jumped. He's always so much faster than me.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So our topic for tonight actually came up a lot in our family support group this evening
tonight.
And I think it's also a really great one heading into the holly jolliest time of the year. When once again, we're around a lot of hustle and bustle of people out shopping. There's an influx of vehicles on the road, all those kinds of things. So what we're talking about tonight is how to manage stuff and let things roll right off your back and not get all like crazy about it.
and specifically managing your anger. Oh, hello, Patricia.
Yes. Hi.
It's good to see you. Yes, out in Michigan. Hope you're staying warm. But yes, it is. It's about how to deal with anger. We were talking about anger a little bit tonight, and in the family support group, it's so hard at times to deal with our family and the things that are going on with our family and the things that are hurtful that occur at times, or things that we feel like we don't have control over. Mm-hmm. So as we were talking about what to talk about tonight, besides my beard, we came up with the idea that it would be really good to talk about how to let things go easier, how to let them fly through and to not hang on to them so tightly.
Right. And I love this that we're like specifying it to the family too. But I honestly, at this time of year, like it's difficult for me not to drive around town and be like, just go. And so like even applying all of the skills that we're going to go over to tonight to like all avenues of your life.
Yes.
So I guess the first question is, Dean, what would you suggest being like, I guess let's not rank them, but what is a really good coping skill, I guess?
Yes.
From The Key. By the way, if you haven't read it,
pick it up. Yes, the book, The Key. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can get it on Amazon.
It's a great stocking stuffer.
Oh, I never thought about that. Actually, it would be a great gift. You can get it on Amazon. And if you hurry, it may get there in time for Christmas. But you can order The Key or the 4 Steps to Confidence books for the holidays. But what would be a coping skill you're saying from that?
Right. And so for those of you who are potentially new or have never heard about the book, The Key, Dean and I can only remember Lee Kelly. I can always only remember his last name. Mr. Kelly wrote this book about this gentleman who just gets out of rehab and goes on this really cool adventure where he is mentored by a lot of different men, and he learns all about the 8 coping skills.
Right. They're men that it starts with his grandfather. Mm-hmm. They are his grandfather's war buddies,
that's right.
And how they were able to cope with the war itself, coming home from the war, and so the coping skills that they had learned along the way. And so it's just one of those experiences that it gives people the ability to see it play out in a really cool story way. But the back to the piece that we're talking about is when we're dealing with the anger, the frustration, the hurt, etc. Let's talk about the anger piece, because that was the one we wanted to talk about.
Yep,
so when it comes to anger, a lot of times that we have to remember and hang on to is that anger is a secondary emotion. It's a cover emotion. In other words, it's a reactive emotion. There are a lot of emotions that fall underneath anger. So if I'm feeling sad, hurt, disrespected, disappointed, embarrassed, ashamed, a lot of times when I express it in I'm so mad, or this is hurting, I'm angry that so-and-so's done this to me. And it comes out and it's expressed in anger. Now, anger is an important emotion. Anger is a catalyst emotion. It's an emotion that we need to help move us forward. It's a call to action is what anger is.
Okay.
And so the key, I referred the book again. There you go. The key to it is to not hang on to it beyond. And so a lot of times what we have to do in order to let go is we have to identify, what am I really feeling? And once I identify what am I really feeling, then I need to find a way to express it. Okay. So in using the book, The Key, we're talking about a couple pieces. The first thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about movement. So I'm going to be emotionally doing movement. I'm going to be understanding what am I feeling, and identify that feeling. And so I'm going to be using movement to do that. I'm going to be using focus. What am I focusing on that's affecting me? And I'm also going to be using acceptance to be able to let go, which is another coping skill. That there are things that I just can't control. There are things that people do or say, etc. And instead of, and sometimes people think that acceptance means I just have to accept it. I have to be okay with it. No.
Essentially almost be a pushover, right?
Right, a doormat.
Right.
And that's not what acceptance is. Acceptance is that I accept the things that I can control, and I control the things. I accept the things I can't control, and I accept the things that I can control, and I do something about the things that I can control.
I love that. So my brain is, pardon me, still stuck on, I really loved how you said that anger is a call to action. Can you expound on that just a little bit more for me?
Yeah, anger is a catalyst emotion. It's one that we all need and all have, but it causes us to physically emote or to act or to move. And a lot of times when we get depressed, it's because we're shoving that anger down, shoving it inside. I feel like I can't express it. Well, maybe I'm mad at you, but I want you to like me, so I don't say anything. So I take the anger and I shove it down, and then I feel depressed. But if I allow that anger to be a catalyst, I can sometimes express, hey, I'm angry, I'm really frustrated. I can express it, or maybe I can become aware of it, and I can go, wow, I am feeling fuming mad right now. Why am I so mad? What is going on? And it's a catalyst that lets me know. It's an emotion that's uncomfortable, so we know that discomfort creates the ability to pay attention, like physical pain. So if I have stiffness in my joints, or if I have hurt, or if I've cut myself and I don't even know, and pretty soon I start to feel the pain, then I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. I need to address it. Anger is the same way. If we use it appropriately, we can go, okay, well, I'm angry. What is causing the anger? And pay attention to it. I like that.
Right. So it's almost the alarm clock, right? Like, ding, 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 something's going on here. I'm feeling angry. And then you can dissect the layers from there.
Yes.
To become more aware.
Right. But the key to it is, if we're looking at anger as a call to action, if we're looking at anger as a catalyst, then we must use it as such. Where it starts to become toxic and it becomes unhealthy for us is when we allow the anger to express itself in an unhealthy way. So physically becoming violent towards somebody, or even towards myself, self-harm, or if I stay stuffing it down and not dealing with it. When I use anger in a hurtful way or not a catalyst way, and a healthy catalyst, then it can be very, very devastating to us.
Oh yeah, and to our relationships.
Very much so.
If we're explosive in communication, or like you said, getting physical, then
yeah. And I see this a lot. I see people. We have a term in our industry called displaced anger. It's one that it means that I have anger. Maybe I'm angry at a situation. You walk in, you say something, and I just blow up at you. I'm really not angry at you, but I'm displacing my anger on you because you're a scapegoat. And sometimes we see that with kids with their parents. Parents are like, man, all I ever seem to get is the angry kid or the angry spouse or the angry boyfriend. And a lot of times it's the displaced anger because we're not paying attention to the catalyst. And we're not paying attention to, hey, there's something going on here. And therefore we lash out and we act out towards other people. And that's unhealthy for us to do. But anger itself is a healthy emotion when we use it in a healthy way as a catalyst or an indicator.
Yeah. And isn't it interesting that typically the people that we lash out the most on are the ones we feel like is the safest.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're not going to lose this relationship. Feel safe in our connection. And so you're a safe place for me to just explode.
So we explode on them. We act out. We yell. We scream. We shut people out. We ghost them. That's what the cool kids say nowadays. We ghost them.
Ghosting is not cool.
Ghosting's not fun.
It hurts feelings. Maybe I have some experience with it, Dean, okay? This friend I have.
It wasn't me. So, but yeah, so, isolating ourselves, ghosting people, pretending like nothing's going on, passive aggressive behavior. We see a lot of people that are really angry, but then they act out aggressively in a passive aggressive way where they act ambivalent, or they stonewall, or they ice out people, or there's a lot of different things. So when we learn to use our anger as a catalyst and an indicator of, okay, I need to deal with something, I need to work through that piece, then it's easier for me to let it go because I feel like my anger is helping me move forward. If I'm stuffing my anger down, if I'm acting out with anger, then anger doesn't really become a productive thing for me. And then people around me are afraid. And that's one of the other things is when we don't use anger in a productive way, people start feeling like they have to walk around on eggshells. Because you're going to blow up at any minute, or you're going to threaten them or threaten yourself or whatever that it's happening, instead of using it in a productive way.
Awesome. Thank you for going into that further for me. That was really good. So let's get back to the coping skills.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit more about movement, which was the first one that you mentioned.
Yeah, movement. We have to, you can't just sit back and go, okay, well, I'm angry. I'm really angry about this, and not do something with it. The movement is I have to recognize what's going on, and then I need to do something with it. So I'm either going to calm down. Maybe I need to take a time out. Maybe I need to take a step away, take some breaths and calm down, and then go and address. Maybe I need to take the ability to address somebody or go talk to them. I just stuttered it felt like 20 seconds there.
It was not that long.
So I may feel that I need to address it, and I need to address it in a calm way, or maybe I need to be upset and go into it with, I'm angry, but not yelling and screaming.
Or getting nasty.
And sometimes getting away from the situation.
Yeah.
One of the others that I wanted to address is changing a perception or changing a perspective. Sometimes I need to, my mother was really great at this. I remember as a kid, she was so, my mother was an angel. I will just tell everybody out there, she was amazing. And the one thing that my mother would always do was she would always reframe things for me as a young man. And sorry, I'm getting misty about it.
Yeah, a little bit. Tis the season.
It's the season, and I miss her the most. So anyway, she would always help me rephrase or reframe. So I'd come home and I'd be upset at somebody, and she would say, well, maybe maybe they're seeing things a certain way, or maybe they're having a rough day, or maybe, they're being bullied, or it was always that perspective shift that my mother was always working hard to instill in me, to create that empathy. And sometimes with our anger, that's something that we need to do, is we need to step back and we need to reframe it, or to see it differently.
Right, which could encapsulate both focus and movement, right? If you're moving your perspective, that's movement.
Right. Yeah, and it is. It's the shifting of one perspective to another, and that's a huge step for us in creating relief for ourselves. There's so many things. And one of the things I've always loved about Viktor Frankl, who is one of the people that I love, and may I even go as far to say a mentor of mine, but not that I grew up with him or knew him. But he's an amazing writer, and one of the things he says is, when you can't change the situation, you can change how you see the situation, or your perspective of the situation. And that's a form of movement to release or relieve yourself of the anger.
Right. And I mean, just going back to kind of those, I'm not going to put judgment, I was going to say petty little things, but like sometimes I really kind of struggle with is, like waiting on people to walk across the parking lot from Walmart or things like that. Like I oftentimes have to do that inside my head, like, oh, that person just cut me off. Maybe they're on the way to the hospital to have a baby, and I just have to like reframe it that way so that I don't get an ulcer.
Yes. Or lash out.
Right.
And run somebody over in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good skill.
And that's a movement piece as well. We are shifting our perception. But as we go back to the focus, again, some of the things that we got to look at is, why am I angry? And sometimes the anger is coming because there's things that are unresolved.
Right.
That takes us to coping skill number 8, which is resolution. We have to recognize that resolution is a coping skill. We have to bring things to resolution. And when we hang on to things and we don't address them, when we just keep hanging on, or maybe something happens, maybe something happens in the day and we don't fully cognitively file it away, or we don't fully cognitively process it. And we just kind of ignore it. We rush past it because we're so busy. And so it just festers and it festers and it festers and it festers. And next thing you know, you're angry at everybody. You're angry and you're upset. And you're like, I don't know why I'm angry. I'm just upset. It's because I'm not resolving the pieces that are inside of me. Or maybe I'm putting pressure on myself. And those are a lot of things that are internal that I can do something about, the things that I have the ability to change.
Right. That just reminded me of the live that we did right before Thanksgiving, when we were talking about, potential things that could come up when we were like with loved ones. It's just that classic, like Thanksgiving dinner explosion things happening, right? Like resolution just really came into it. So if you're having, like here we are going into another holiday where you're going to be around all those wonderful humans in your life who potentially could trigger you. Like if you haven't got resolution there, like having those kind of conversations would do nothing but alleviate some of that anger that you could have going in and towards others.
Absolutely.
So that's super cool.
And we do have to be aware, and it really kind of leads to, and it looks like we're almost done on our time. It goes so quick. But the one thing that we've got to be aware of is we've got to stop trying to control. And that's where some of there's a lot of our anger that comes from trying to create things that are beyond our reach, that we have no business trying to control. We're always trying to control and reach beyond where we need to be. We need to be within our own skin. We need to be within our own bones. We need to be within our own tissues and be present in this membrane up here. Not fantasizing, not imaginating.
I love that word, imaginating.
Imaginating, or fantasizing. We got to stay present. And so a lot of times our anger is because we feel out of control. Well, control the one thing that you can control, and that's what's between your ears and at the end of your fingertips, and that's you. And you can control you can control what you allow yourself to deal with, but slow down enough that you can start to be aware, why am I feeling the way I am? what am I really going through? What's really the struggle? Those are the things that are important.
Yeah, that's a really good piece, because I think oftentimes we do go into this season wanting this picture perfect experience, right? Wanting the beautiful around the Christmas tree, perfect family experience. And that's not human, right?
No.
So we just have to be okay with being human.
Yes.
And for your gingerbread house to not set correctly. I don't think I've ever had a gingerbread house that like was perfect. And I always have that imagination about it, you know?
Yes. And when the kids won't sit still,
yes,
for the stories that are shared, when the dinners that we share for whatever holiday we're celebrating don't go well, and the yams don't come out right, it's
or
good.
Someone doesn't appreciate the gift that you got, and you put so much thought. Like there's a lot.
There's so much. So we just have to work on controlling what we can.
I really like that.
Well, thank you all for tuning in. Once again, it's gone so fast. I'm not sure if we've got some comments there.
Ryan says, thanks for the reminder to reframe.
Oh, you're welcome. We are so grateful for everybody tuning in. On this holiday season, please do Kate and I a favor and like and share our videos so that we can get a farther, broader reach. Again, a reminder, this will all be gone soon. So, well, not all.
Should we vote about this, Dean?
No.
Just kidding.
No, let's just let it be.
Okay.
So thank you all for tuning in. The beard will be trimmed at the first of the year. I got 2 weeks to live with this thing. I love it.
We love and appreciate you all so much.
Thank you for tuning in. Have a happy holiday, whatever you're celebrating. We're excited for you. Most important thing, people, the most important thing is love. Love, 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 and accept and make memories.
Perfect. Bye, you guys.
Goodbye.